everyone. Happy Thursday.
Hey, how's it going?
Going good, Cyril. How about yourself, buddy?
Doing all right. Staying busy as always, but when am I not?
This is true. That's a good thing, though. Yeah, they say, what is that? A rolling stone gathers no moss. So, man, we just keep on rolling and trucking.
Yeah, something about idle hands being the devil's playground or something. I don't know.
Something like that. I don't know. I seem to be getting plenty of trouble, even without having idle time. I always find time to get in trouble.
Yeah, if you're too busy, trouble will find you at some point in time, just to add a little bit more to your plate.
It does. Absolutely. And so it looks like we got a quiet room so far. If that's okay, they'll roll in. They'll watch the reruns on these. Now, I don't know if you noticed. Try this again. I don't know if you have been noticing, Cyril, but we're getting maybe 10 or 20 people watching the live. We're hitting over 100 views on every one of these, and it keeps growing every single week.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is great. So if you're watching the recording, thank you so much. And we hope this information's been beneficial. But definitely pop in here, ask your questions, whatever we can. We're here to help. And there's no bad question. There we go. Wild Angel, my dear, how you doing? And John Richter, hi, y'all. How you doing, Ron? So,
John.
Sarah, I got some exciting information or news to share here, guys. And I definitely got to give a shout out to the community and to you personally. Because as you guys know, I quit my job back in December to take Down Home Crypto full time.
Brave man.
Yeah, I'm not very smart, but I'm brave. Yeah, I got more brave than intelligence most days. Because, it was just one of those, guess what? I'm going to quit my job and do this. No, I have no backup plan. No, I have no safety net. I got nothing. But I got passion. I got heart. But I want to say thank you to you, Cyril, and to the community especially, because we just reached the monetization level for Down Home Crypto.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. Couldn't have done it without all of your support, and it's a huge thing. Some of you might be asking, what does that mean? Well, honestly, it means that I've put out enough, done enough, and hopefully gotten enough of you guys what you want to see to where it's kind of like your one-stop shop. So for me, it's very much a personal boost, but it creates some revenue streams, some different avenues to where we can grow Down Home Crypto on a financial level versus just out of charities, things like that. So on your YouTube screen, you might notice there's a new little button that says join on it. Let's see if I can share that real quick with you so you know what I'm talking about here. And there you go. Right down here, see this little join button right there? And if you pop that up, that gives the option to join different channels through Down Home Crypto. Now, these are linked with your Discord. So if it's something you're interested in, definitely check it out. We'll cover it more later and stuff. But I just want to say thank you to everybody out there because you're the ones who took us to that level. And yes, John Richter found the other thing, which is Super Chats are live. John, thank you, brother. My first Super Chat ever. Woo-hoo.
You popped your Super Chat cherry.
Yeah. Baby, I love it. So I just want to say thank you to the community, the people out there, and to you, Cyril, because you guys are who's made this possible. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I like what, the fact that your channel is based off education, right? And education, I firmly believe, is a very important thing in the space. So, that's why, I'm happy to support you however I can and, put you in touch with people and things like that to, help you achieve your goals.
Perfect. Well, thank you, brother, because you have been a huge supporter. And one of my best friends in this space. So thank you, brother. Couldn't have done it without you.
Well, much appreciated.
And John, thank you for the super chat, brother, man. That's huge. The very first one I've ever gotten on a live stream. Dude, I'm stoked. I'm like a little kid at Christmas. I don't know what to do.
You got to take a screenshot of it, print it out, put it in a little frame, and put it up, behind your computer right there as motivation.
Hell yeah. That's right. And John was the first one. So, he just became my new best friend. John, thank you, brother.
I can do so.
Yeah, exactly. I would try to say your name, but I would butcher it. So, and I'm not even sure what that says, but welcome to the show. I'm glad you're here. If you have any questions, toss them in there. We'll be happy to get to them. It says, will there be awards in the broadcast? Yes, we always have giveaways, guys, but you have to vote the week before. Remember, you got to go to Down Home Crypto Discord to cast your vote. And yes, the votes are already there. The chat the voting polls are open. They always start first thing Thursday morning, and they run until Wednesday night. So go right now, cast your vote. It's okay. We won't miss you for just a quick few seconds. Okay, and Wild Ace says there's always at least one giveaway. Yes, there is. And we do it by dance off. And so we are loaded, ready to rock and roll. John says, you're welcome, sir. Brother, thank you so much. Okay, so I had to get that out of the way because, yeah, I've been dancing all week because I found that out Monday morning. You know how hard it is to wait until now to tell anybody?
Extremely. I know that we have a problem with waiting in our household. So if we, let's say, someone's birthday rolls around or whatnot, like Tori, her birthday, when her present came in, I tried to give it to her immediately. When Rose got a gift for our anniversary for me, she wound up giving it to me day before yesterday, I think. Or no, yesterday. She gave it to me yesterday. Sorry, the days all blur together. Instead of waiting until the 13th, because we just don't like waiting. So I can't imagine it was I can imagine it was definitely a struggle for you to wait until now to tell everyone.
It has been, definitely. Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, we've got a house full of kids, everything. I'm the worst. Literally, Christmas morning, I'm the one up at 4 a.m. bouncing on beds like, Santa came. I was like, Dad, leave me alone, please. Like, no, get up, come on. I refuse to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. There ain't no way. And Bakiri says, what is the prize? Words, well, it's going to be a dance-off with $10 to the winner unless I win. Then I add another $10 and we go again. And we keep doing that until somebody besides me wins. So we don't know what it could be. Could get ugly quick. So, yeah, so that was the excitement, guys. And yeah, if you're interested in all that, there are some hidden channels in the Down Home Crypto Discord, like the family channel. That's been there for a while, and that's where I put my personal investments, what's going on, and kind of the backstage area. But I created a new one called VIP Family. That will have backstage passes to every live stream that's not a structured stream, like Freaky Fridays. Every Freaky Friday will have a backstage pass in there for the VIP family members. We're going to have more events coming up just specifically for those people. So if you're interested, hit me in Down Home Crypto and we'll chat about it.
Nice.
Okay, so Cyril, I went in today and got my check from Valerie, our receptionist there, and she's been learning and growing and watching. And she said two things that kind of concern me, and I want to get your opinion on these, buddy. So the first thing she said was, I'm waiting to save up money till I start investing in crypto. Now, I didn't get clarification. That was my bad. She was really busy. And if it's waiting to save a nest egg, I think that's great. But if it's waiting to save a certain dollar chunk to invest, how do you feel about that, Cyril? Do you think that's a wise plan?
Well, if she's going the first route and she's setting money aside to have that, 2 to 3 months of expenses set aside, which I touched on during episode 4 or 5, I think. It was a while ago. Yeah.
Right.
A couple of times, and it's, sorry, I lost my train of thought there because I was reading the comments. So if she's setting aside for a nest egg, then yes, that's good. Because you want to have that nest egg set aside before you start investing in anything, because that way, if an unexpected expense comes up, you're not selling your investment and turning unrealized losses or gains into realized losses or gains when you're investing longer term, right? You want to be able to keep your money at work, keep growing, etc. So having that nest egg is very important. If she's saving up a chunk to then invest a chunk, well, you know how we feel about that here. We DCA in just as we DCA out, You want to have your reoccurring purchases either every week or every month or whatnot, because as we touched on 2 episodes ago, our Rags to Riches portfolio is doing a lot better than it would be if we had taken that amount that we've invested over the last however many shows. Let me see, week 19, so 19 episodes, almost 20. We would be down a lot more if we had taken that money as a chunk and just put it in the beginning instead of doing $25 every single week. We're down significantly less. So, don't save up a chunk, just do it weekly. If you got an extra 20, 30, 40, $50 out of each paycheck, put it in, get it in there, start DCAing your way into the markets. Don't try to do it one lump sum. You're doing yourself a huge disservice.
Sounds good. And that's kind of what I was thinking. And now one thing I've been looking at, Sarah, is I've been looking around at some of the central exchanges. Now I know here we like to have total control. That's always a huge thing for us. Not your keys, not your crypto. But if somebody's just starting out, say they can afford, $5 a week, $10 a week. How do you feel about opening like a Coinbase and saying, you know what, automatically withdraw $10 a week on this day of the week in Bitcoin and just go that route and let it run? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. There's many different ways that you can go about it. If someone only has like $5 a week, they shouldn't be messing in DeFi projects anyways. They should be sticking with the blue chips, right? And so in that situation, using something like Coinbase is just fine. Once you've accumulated a decent bit, maybe consider moving your money over to an appropriate self-custody wallet instead of an exchange wallet. Just black.
He's seeing things. That was weird. Okay, like, whoa.
No, you can actually see it on my camera, and that's what I noticed first. It was this little tiny gnat that I guess snuck in when I had the garage door open earlier today.
Okay.
But yeah, anywho, so doing those little purchases directly there on a centralized exchange is going to be the easiest way to do it. So if you want to get started while you're building up your knowledge of how to navigate the DeFi space properly and safely, then doing that with an exchange is fine. Okay.
And let me ask you, so at what point, like what dollar value you would say, okay, it's time to get out of a central exchange and take control? Would that be $100 or $200? What's a good safe number?
I mean, that's entirely up to each individual. Something like Coinbase, right? They're the biggest, centralized exchange. Crypto.com is a close second. But, something like that, I really don't feel like you're going to have an issue with your money disappearing or the exchange closing. I mean, this isn't the early days. It's not Mt. Gox. Hats off to you if you know what happened with Mt. Gox. It was before most of the listeners' time in crypto.
Right.
So I think it's really has to do with your security level. How much are you willing to let the government know that you have? Because that's essentially what's going on. They're going to report it every year to the feds. And so self-custody, they don't necessarily know you have it, right? But if it's there on an exchange, they know.
Okay. Good safety tips. And yeah, that's one thing I definitely talk about. Let's catch up on the chat for a second. Let's see. And John Rick says, Vic, to be honest, I feel that I learned more from Science Serenity is worth more than $10. It's awesome here. John, thank you, brother. That's good to hear. We're actually putting out knowledge. We're helping you out. So thank you, brother. And of course, Ferret says, migration.
I'm not the one you need to be bugging about that. Literally, Stop bugging me about that. I know you do it because you think it's funny. Go bother Gary.
Yep. And even John says, oh, geez, stop it. Well, says, hi, Ferret. Hi, Ferret. Good to see you, buddy. X8 Taylor. Absolutely. X8, congrats. Thank you, brother, man. And you know what, X8? It's people like you that made this possible. So thank you, brother. Because, I mean, literally, it's all about you guys. And Ferret says, I love bugging Daddy Cyril. Yeah, Ferret's the character. Ferret, I love you, brother. Keep the positive energy. That's okay. Yeah, Cyril can take 2 aspirin. He'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll just take a slightly larger than normal gummy.
Yeah, you're totally good there.
Yeah, problem solved.
Okay. So back on the conversation. Now, like I said, she said 2 statements that concerned me. And the second one really had her panic. It really scared her. And I had to think about it a little bit, but unfortunately, I didn't get chat with her for long. But I said we would talk about it. She's like, I said, throw in the chat there. It's like, are you sure? It's like, yeah, absolutely. I don't care what the topic is. You guys got questions. Toss them in the chat. Hard questions, whatever you got, we want them. That's what we're here for. So she said she was listening to Dave Ramsey, and he had made she caught a statement. He said that everyone who invested in crypto last year lost money. And she about panicked. It's like, oh God, everybody really? And I think that's something we need to talk about because that seems like a really broad, brutal statement. How do you feel about that one, Cyril?
So one, not everybody has lost money, right? It depends on what avenues of investing you've been doing in crypto, right? Yeah, if you just bought, blue chips and held, then yeah, absolutely. If you bought last year, you're down now. You were exit liquidity. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But jokes aside, if you invested into crypto and you hopped into a DeFi project that did well, or you started farming in liquidity pools, which we're going to learn a little bit about today, you could very well be up. If you were leverage trading, you could be up, right? And you could do all these things. Yes, Wild Angel is correct. The background music is a little loud.
Got it. I'm on it right now.
But, lost my train of thought because of the music. So there's many different ways that you could have invested into crypto, and many different ways that you could have been positive. You'd be up, right? So it's a very broad blanket statement that's really only looking at one tiny bit of the information.
Right. Now, let me ask you. Now, one thing I had a problem with right off the bat, my knee-jerk reaction was, I didn't lose money, even if I bought at the top. I don't care if I bought Bitcoin at the top last year. Unless I sell it, I haven't actually lost because I still got the Bitcoin. I'm actually not out anything. So have I really lost? No. I still got exactly what I bought. All I have to do is wait for it to dip down and then go back up past where I bought it, and I made money.
Right. Essentially. Exactly. Right. So it helps if when you invest money into anything, if you no longer think of it as money, right? Because you spent that money is gone. If you go to the grocery store and you buy yourself a ham, right? You're not like, oh, sweet, I've got a ham worth $10. You say, oh, hell yes, I got a ham. I'm going to go home. I'm going to make mashed potatoes. I'm going to cook this up and eat it, right? And it's going to be good, right? You spent the money. You don't have a ham worth $10 or $9 because it's on sale, or $11 because, there's a supply shortage because, pigs are taking longer to get fat or something. I don't know. But, long story short, you spent the money. The money's gone, right? You have X amount of Bitcoin or X amount of Ethereum or X amount of some, Honda Civic, Shiba Inu, Doge, Panda 69 Foo, whatever token, right? You got that. That's what you spent the money on. Now, because we're coming at this through investing, we hope that what we spent on it is less than what we will be able to sell it for later. But ultimately, once that money leaves your hand, you spent the money's gone, right? If the value of the token goes down or the value of the token goes up, that's great, but you still just have one of the tokens, right? If you're able to sell it, to someone else that's locking in the unrealized gain or the unrealized loss, and then it becomes realized. So yeah, if you bought last year and you're down, everybody's down, unless of course anything I mentioned earlier, then you're not actually losing money unless you sell it and realize that loss.
Okay. And that's kind of what I was thinking. That was my first reaction. I'm like, no, yeah, the value might be down, but you haven't actually lost. And that was one thing. So Valerie, if you're listening, dear, this is where, like we talked about, dollar cost averaging in, a little bit every week, build up your portfolio there. But once you've got it, don't panic sell. Don't just say the chart dips a tiny bit. It's like, oh my God, I've lost mine. No, you still got it. They're still in your hand. I promise you, they're still there.
I mean, 80-something% isn't a little bit, but yeah. But yeah, absolutely. And those kind of emotions are the reason why over 80% of retail traders lose money, right? Retail investors, over 80% of them lose money. And that's because they allow their emotions to drive them. They go and they say, I have saved up 10 grand. I'm going to go buy Bitcoin with this because it's at 60K and it's going to 100, right? That's 40% profit. Let me flip this. And then they buy it, and then it starts going down, and they panic and they sell because they're like, well, I had 10K, but at least I can walk away with 8K right now and only lose 2 grand, right? Or they're the mindset of, oh, it's got to go back up, right? It's going to go back up. They're in denial. And then they wind up holding it all the way down to 10K. And then they're like, oh, it's so low. And then they sell it, right? You know, and because they're like, oh, that's it. This is going to zero or whatever. A lot of people I see wind up selling near the bottom, you know, and buying near the top because of those emotions, which is why you want to look at it as, let's use a great example here. Let's say, Serenity, you decide, I'm going to go get myself a new monitor, right? I'm going to get this nice, 39-inch curved, OLED Samsung monitor for my computer, right? And so
sounds great.
Research. You go out there, you're looking into all of the different monitors. Oh, X8 Taylor.
X8, thank you, buddy. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. Hey, it was your first subscriber, right? So you
exactly.
you gotta recognize, just
Congrats,
like John,
buddy.
donation. But anyway, you spend time, you do your research, you order it, and you get it shipped in. You spent the money, you got your brand new shiny monitor. Now, if in 3-4 months, you're enjoying the hell out of the monitor, everything like that, and you get a little email notification from some newsletter you signed up for that says, hey, guess what? The monitor that you bought is now on sale 40% off. Do you A, get mad because you paid 40% more? B, be like, oh shit, it's on sale. Now I can turn it into a double monitor or double display system, and I have this nice curve, like wraparound setup going, right? And then you buy a second one. Which one of those two are you more likely to do?
Both. Can I go with both?
You cannot go with both, but
Okay. The first knee jerk, of course, is going to be like, oh, damn it. Next one's going to be like, hey, wait a minute. What if? Ooh. I think I'm going to go through both in a way. I think it's going to be a first up. Wake up call, and then it's like, oh, I like this idea.
And so what you said right there is kind of actually the point that I was trying to make. Yes, your emotion is that first response.
Right.
That, oh, I'm mad because it's down. I'm going to get pissed. I'm going to panic sell my tokens. I'm going to exit. I'm going to just take my money, right? Because I'm down. I'm going to get mad about it. But then when you stop and you think about it, you're like, oh, I could get another one and have a cool setup, right? That's the logic part. Once the emotion part is done, then you can actually have that thought. Emotions are always going to be stronger. They're always going to come faster. Then your brain is going to take the time to think about something. So never listen to your emotions with investing. Acknowledge them, recognize them. Don't just try to be emotionless, right? Because you will fail at being emotionless. You're human, and unless you're a sociopath, which you're probably not in crypto anyways, if you're a sociopath anywho, you're going to have emotions.
Right.
And a lot of people, because when I'm teaching people how to trade, I'm like, you got to be emotionless about it. But a lot of people don't generally explain what that means, right? They just assume, okay, I got to be emotionless. I got to not have any emotions. I got to just look at the chart. You're going to have emotions. It's going to happen. Don't try to prevent it. What you need to do is you need to recognize it, accept it, and be like, okay, I am feeling this way because of this. Allow yourself to feel it. That's how you allow that feeling to go away, is you understand it, let it go away, and then that opens up room in your head for that logical thought process. Like, okay, well, this is why I DCA. I'm going to go ahead and do my DCA now because we just had a pretty sharp drop. That's the logic part. And that's how you be emotionless. You just don't make decisions about your investments when you're experiencing an emotion. Recognize the emotion, accept it, let it go. And then during your emotionless, this is brain thinking time, you go ahead and make your decisions.
Okay. And, I think that fits everywhere in life. I mean, for years, I would do construction, things like that, and I'd smash my head on a board or something. And my first instinct is grab a hammer and just beat the hell out of everything around me. And I did that a few times. We won't talk about it. But
left-handed anger.
Exactly, yeah. But really, it's best if, okay, stop, go sit down, have a cigarette, whatever, a vape, have a drink, wait 5 minutes, think about it for a second. It's like, okay, what's a smarter way to do this where I'm not going to injure myself? And then you go back to it with a smarter plan. Same kind of concept, right?
Yeah, essentially.
Okay. So yeah, I think that's something we can all understand and have experienced in life in one form or another. We're just putting it into the investing strategy.
Exactly. And you'll find that as you get better at investing, you tend to have a much different mindset about life. And you'll see just how many of the skills that you learned, such as the rules of solvency, for the purpose of investing, have actually applied and are applicable to many other aspects of your actual life. So,
yeah, and that's true. There is a lot of things. It's just like we were talking, just a second ago about that example, going through recovery and different things like that in my life. Where, yeah, I never realized I had to stop and sit down and really let the emotions come in, deal with them, and then let them back out again. Now react. Mine was always something to cut me off in traffic. Oh, okay, freak out, hunt them down. Road rage, yeah, all those kind of things. And it took a while to realize that, yeah, emotions are normal. You can't control them. They're going to come. They're going to come hard and fast, like you're saying. The trick is to not respond to them. That's the key.
Right. Because we don't get to choose what happens to us, and we don't get to choose how we feel about something, but we do get to choose what we do about it.
That's right. And our reactions are what we're truly accountable for.
Yep.
Great. So that brings up a great topic. I think we got time to... Well, we're going to start it before the dance off, but real quick, Cyril, I put out an announcement on, I believe it was Monday or Tuesday, talking about elephant money. Now, that went against our plan we talked about, where I said Cyril Keir is pulling the rags to riches out at this point in time.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll kind of briefly touch on that. So I was looking at the chart. If you can switch to the day chart and then zoom out.
Got it. How far you want me to zoom?
Keep zooming out. Little further. There we go. All right.
There it is.
So do you see? I'm going to ask you, and you guys can pump it in the comments if you want to, but do you see why I sold?
I do.
Okay. Now, do you know where I sold?
Not the exact number, I don't. I know it was right as it dropped in the first, hour or two. It was pretty quick after it hit that spike.
So it was before the drop. So okay. I sold our holdings at 5,875, I believe, was the price, or was it 5? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 5.8 something.
Okay. If I were to draw this pretty blue line across here, 5.877. It's close. Oh man, I moved. That's my bad.
Yeah, close enough. Zoom in.
Which peak?
The far peak.
Left or right?
Right. Sorry.
Thank you. What's the far one? Like so?
Yeah, I think because it's on screen share, I can't see the wick that pokes above that line.
Yeah.
There's a wick there, isn't there?
Yes, there is, ever so slightly.
Okay.
Yeah, ever so slight, but yes, it is there.
Okay.
And I drew my line a little bit off, but yeah. But the whole concept here is the pattern of what you're going for, right?
Right. So on the daily chart, zoom super freaking far out so that no one's looking at it. Their last height was right there, right? Their last peak. That very first one before they had their initial dump. I think they had an exploit in the contract, some $20 million or something just vanished like that. But anywho, so I knew that anybody who bought in was expecting it to get to that. So because they were expecting it, they were going to then sell there, right? So I sold just under what that peak was. And less than 8 hours later, it just started dumping, right? And then it wound up dropping a total of something like 30%, I think, over the course of 48 hours.
Yeah, it was ugly.
It was pretty far down, comparatively anyways. Now, it was still, the bottom of that drop there was still above where we had bought in. So if I had just held it, we'd still be up, albeit not much, right? After the 20% round trip and taxes. So because now I think that that was just some panicking, right? People following their emotions and not their head. I know one big whale sold like $37,000 or something like that. Or no, it was like $370,000. It was something ridiculous, a big chunk of change, right? So they dropped pretty hard. They dropped like 10%. And then the rest of it was everyone being like, oh no, it's crashing. It's not just going up anymore like it had been for months, right? So they all started selling. It's that whole fear cycle. They were following their emotions. And so I wanted to get out before that happened. And so we did.
And this is why you're in charge.
But we can dive into that after the dance off because it is past time. Okay.
And so real quick, before I do the dance off, John Richter put rules of solvency earlier on something we were discussing. What rule is it that says watch the market? What number is that made you make that call? Or is there one certain rule in there?
Watch the market. What was it you were like, which thing?
Is there a certain rule of solvency that says that, hey, in the previous spike, it stopped here, so I should sell here at a number?
No, that's just standard like trend line.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought maybe there was a certain rule number that's number 27. Yeah, don't you know that?
He was saying that in regards to the emotionless in trading.
Right. I was just curious if there was one that caused you to respond to elephant money based on a rule that I wasn't aware of.
No.
Okay. Just checking. So, as we know, guys, it's time for dance off. So, right now, if you have not cast your vote yet, please go to Down Home Crypto Discord, cast your vote, because that's how you get on this list. That's how you get the giveaway. Is all you have to do is go in and cast your vote for your favorite DeFi project and blue chip. And yes, you get 2 votes, one for DeFi and one for blue chip. There we go. I'll spit out eventually. And I had I will go post this again. There it is. And there is the link to the Discord. If you don't see it, scroll up in the chat. It's right up there at the top. Go in there right now, cast your vote. Remember, I open those every Thursday morning. First thing I do in the morning is I sit down and I remake the new polls to replace the old polls. I pull the old ones down, put the new ones up. So I want to say thanks to everybody who did cast their vote, because we've got, like I said, this list is growing. Every single week, you guys are giving us great information, and I will tell you that I have personally invested in a few of the projects that you have suggested, even though they haven't won the Rags to Riches voting poll. I've still put a few bucks in on my own. So thank you, because I think it's a great way where we can all share information. We can all learn and grow together.
Exactly. Like I can't find every single Discord out there for new projects popping up and researching all of them. I am but one person, right? So when everyone comes together and finds a couple of good ones, 1 or 2 good ones each, and pulls it together, it's better for all of us.
Right. So that way we win together. So it's awesome. Yep. And Ferret Pew Pew says rules of solvency, Ferengi rules of acquisition. I love you, Ferret, man. You're great. Okay, I think I shared the audio this time. So we're going to try this. Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big money, no whammies. Come on, shake it, shake it. Blades are coming. Cheetos is gone.
Cheetos and Agata.
Sorry, Agata. Down. Oh, now they're bouncing around. Like, oh shit, JC died, man. We gotta move. Aim for that Serenity guy. We don't like him anyway. Oh, John, sorry, buddy.
Aw. I don't see ferret on this list.
Me neither. Ah. Ooh, damn, that was ugly. I got 3.
Oh.
Oh, I died. BTK.
Hey.
Congrats, BTK, my man.
I haven't seen him in the stream tonight.
Interesting. Ah. Wow. You saying BTK? Yeah. So, Ferret, buddy, why aren't you on that list of voters, my man? Calling you out.
He comes in here and asks me when migration, when vote. Huh? When vote.
Right, exactly. Says I am his proxy. We love you, Ferret. It's great. Go cast your vote, buddy. Come on. I want your input, brother. Okay, so congrats, BTK. As you guys know, the rules are you have to DM me before the stream is over your wallet address so I can send you your $10. So congrats, buddy. And look forward to that DM.
That's if he pops on and realizes that he won, because I'm not going to DM him. He's going to have to, he's always here and he's not here tonight. So
Wait, what is with it? He wasn't there for Freaky Friday last week either. I even sent a backstage pass. Like, come on.
Crazy.
Okay. I just got a DM. I turned my job. I got to see if that's BTK or not. Let's see. There it is. I got to check just in case. Make sure. Oh, yeah. He is pinging me off the wall. I'm a ninja. Hey, Ninja, why aren't you in here, buddy? Congrats, BTK. Yes, I got the DM. We are golden, brother.
He might just be listening in at work or something.
It could be. He could be swinging from a tall tower playing with high voltage wires. Like, dude, I can't watch. Just leave me alone.
No, he's laying electricity inside a hospital.
That's right. That's right. I forgot about that. He was off the towers in the hospital. Oh, if something goes wrong, he's in the right place, right?
Yeah, off the towers into the hospital. That's usually how it goes, right? If you fall off a tower, you go in the hospital.
Typically, unless it's straight to the morgue. Yeah, let's hope not. So be safe, brother, because, as we know, electricity kills. So, Cyril, now, you had some interesting plans you talked about last week as far as our elephant money. Now, given the way the charts look, let me ask you, is that going to change the plans of what we were going to do as of last week?
So, yeah, because I sold all but $20 of our elephant money at the top, right? So instead of, when it does a 2x, taking 25%, 3x, 25%, etc., I elected to just exit and keep a $20 moon bag. Now, I know last week we had discussed showcasing creating to LP, right? And so that's what we're going to do with our moon bag. We're going to go ahead. We're going to add it to the LP, and then if it drops more, if it gets to the next support level, right? I would break that LP because we would receive more of the elephant money tokens and less of the BNB, right? Breaking the LP realizes that exchange, right? Well, if we leave it in the LP and it starts going back up, then we would see those, the amount of tokens we have go down, the amount of BNB that we have go up until it gets back to that 50%. And if it keeps going up, we'd wind up with more BNB and less of the tokens, right? You with me?
Right. Yep, I'm with you so far.
All right, cool. I know some people can find it a little difficult to kind of visualize the way that works, but when people are buying, right, they're putting in BNB and taking out tokens. So if you have your tokens and BNB in that pool, that's happening to your tokens and BNB. So if we make RLP now, because it bounced off the first support, and if it continues falling, breaks under the first support, when it gets down to the second support, I would break the LP. We'll have a bunch more tokens. We'll have less BNB, sure, but we'll have a bunch more tokens, which then we would just hold for it to then bounce up, and then we'd sell the tokens and walk away with even more BNB. So that's plus the fees, right? So that's what we're going to do with the $20 of BNB that we have.
Okay. And one sec here, Cyril. QQIDITY. Now, if you guys have no idea what a liquidity pool is, you don't understand anything Cyril just said, it's like a foreign language. Not a problem. I got a video that kind of draws this out, and it's in the Zero to Hero series. So I'm going to put that in the link down below, or in the chat right now. There's a link directly to the liquidity pool walkthrough video. And it's a very simplified version. Please understand, it gets more complicated, but this at least gives you some idea how liquidity pool works, how it balances the dollar to a token back and forth, and how that creates market cap as well as token price. So that's all in that video. If you guys have questions, check that out, and then bring your questions into Down Home Crypto Discord. Ask us. We're happy to walk you through it and help anywhere we can.
Absolutely.
So, okay, yeah, it does sound very complicated, so I'm sure a lot of people are like, what? Other people are like, yeah, piece of cake, I do it all the time. But I want to give a shout out to BTK. He says he sold the elephant 2 days prior to the dump. Well done, sir. He was watching those charts. My man. I did it right after Cyril told me, so.
Ask him why he sold, though. Because I know why he sold.
Okay, BTK, why did you sell, buddy? It was either Cyril told you to, or you pulled it out to put it somewhere else. I'm curious, which one?
I made a prediction, basically an analysis of the chart back when it was in the high 2000s. Or it was, yeah, it was in like the high 2000s.
Okay.
There we go.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, well done.
Thank you.
And
I told him that it would likely 2x from the current price and then dump, is what I told him. And we were sitting, like a month ago. So that's why I sold. That's why he sold. And he wound up selling before I even sold, because I kind of wrote it to kind of like the last minute there and then sold. And then I messaged him and he's like, oh yeah, I sold too. I'm like, hey.
Perfect. And then you messaged me and I'm like, gone. And then I typed in an announcement just so everybody else in the community would know. Because if you did get that announcement in Down Home Crypto, because I made sure to put it out there, guys, then you would have jumped out of it literally right up here at this peak. It was like right at the top, this very first little nub. Right about here is where you would have gotten your announcement out. So that's when I got out of it. I immediately passed that word. So, guys, I cannot stress enough, the Down Home Crypto Discord is really critical. That's where we keep you guys up to date, cutting edge, so you don't have to wait till Friday or till Thursday when it goes all the way down.
Yeah, because remember, in our experience of this bear market, Thursday is always a down day. And if you know what the prices were 2 days ago versus what they are right now, ETH is down like $100 from 2 days ago.
Right. It's crazy. The market is just, it's insane. So, yeah, information is power. Absolutely. And BTK says Cole made a ton of sense when you look at the chart on any. Yeah, it really does. It makes perfect sense. And, the sad part is I never scrolled out enough to see that other spike go, oh, well, hell, duh. Once you do that, it's like, oh, that's pretty Captain Obvious right there.
One of the first things I do whenever I'm looking at a new project or I'm looking to make an investment, I switch to the day chart and I zoom out as far as I can. If there's still more chart, I'll switch to the month chart and zoom out as far as I can. You should always, always, always do that before buying. Before,
okay. That's where I went wrong. I didn't do it before I bought.
Yeah, before.
My bad.
Before.
Okay, fair enough. So, this makes life a little bit interesting. Now, of course, we've got the profits we took out already. Then we've got the $20 moonbag that's still in there. Plus, we have the vote that everybody voted for. So, we get like 3 pieces of the jigsaw puzzle to juggle today, buddy. How do you want to do it?
Yeah, so let's start off with, I'm going to go ahead and share the screen.
Okay.
And 1 second. Not that one. This one. All right. There we go. Okay, we're up. Just had to double check. All right, so we're going to be supplying liquidity, right, with our tokens. So we're here on PancakeSwap.finance, right? All the different decentralized exchanges have like a different dot, right? You've got uniswap.org, you've got pancakeswap.finance. They're all over the place. They need to make up their mind. Anyway, so we're here on the trade tab. We're going to switch to the liquidity tab. Now, I am assuming that those of you watching right now know how to connect your wallet, blah, 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 right? If you don't, there's Zero to Hero series episodes that can help you with that.
Yes.
Most of you are going to be on the swap tabs on the different decentralized exchanges, but we're going to the liquidity tab. And then we are going to add liquidity.
Okay.
Now, here, we're going to switch to V2 because I believe this is a V2 pair for elephant money. But we're going to find our elephant money and our BNB. Next. So what we're doing is we're taking our $23 of elephant money, our, what is this, 5 million or 50 million tokens. And by hitting max, it knows what the correct ratio is in the LP, right? What the price per token is. So it'll automatically fill that in. The only time you ever have to worry about what this number is if you're making an LP. And I guarantee 99.5% of you watching are not going to be doing that. But first we have to enable our elephant money. Let me do that real quick. You're not going to see the pop-up, I don't think.
That's fine.
Enabling.
How do I connect my Zeely? BTK, we're not talking to you right now.
No Zeely. Damn it.
Yeah.
All right. So you have to first approve a token for the contract to interact with it, right? And that's why you first have to approve a token for spending before you can then swap. Now we're going to click add, and it's going to take our elephant token, and it's going to take our BNB, and it's going to add it to the LP. And by clicking add, it'll pop up with another transaction you have to sign, and then you sign it. It's processing, sorry.
Right. Oh, no, you're fine. I just had some questions, but I didn't want to distract from your process, so I'll wait on this.
Now, since it went through, we can see our position right here on the liquidity tab. Now, you'll notice, because their token has a 10% tax, we got taxed 10%. So that's something that you have to be aware of. Anytime you're interacting with a token that has a tax on it, if they coded their tax old school and just put a flat tax on everything, it will tax you when it adds to the LP as well. So be aware of that. Now, if they code it the proper way, like the way I code my taxes, the taxes would only apply to swapped transactions. So you could send it to another wallet, you could add it to the liquidity pool, etc., and not have to worry about that. But this shows us the LP reward APR. So in fees, transaction fees, we essentially will grow our money by 2% annually, just off of the fees that our position earns. So by the end of the year, we'll have gained 2% essentially on our $42.61, just in fees. And that's extra BNB and elephant money tokens that would come to us. So,
okay. Now, sorry, go ahead.
And then the last thing I just wanted to point out was, remember this number, 45,020,000. And you're going to see that go down or up depending on whether people are buying or selling the tokens.
Okay. But now our strategy on this, sorry, let me make sure I understand this, is we're not really looking, the fees are good, but that's not our primary goal on this journey, is it, for this?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So for this, our plan is if the brain fart, sorry, if the price drops from here, when it gets down to the next support zone, I would remove the LP, because then we'll have more tokens because people are selling, right? And then from there, instead of the amount of elephant tokens we have slowly decreasing as the price goes up, meaning that we're essentially taking profit a whole bunch of times, like really DCAing our way out. But if we don't want that to happen, we want to be able to choose when to sell all of the tokens, right? Because we're looking for exit. This is our moon bag, right? We would pull it out of the LP, so we retain those tokens so that as the price goes up, the amount of money we would make from selling them increases.
Okay. Sounds good. And BTK brought up a great question, says, what about the reflections you get from Elephant? How does that work with liquidity?
Elephant gives reflections? I don't know. Remember, I don't really know anything about Elephant money. You guys suggested we purchase it. We purchased it. I was just looking at the chart. I'm not in their Discord. I don't know what their Twitter handle is. I know nothing about them, essentially, other than what you guys have said. So don't ask me. Yeah.
Hey, so BTK.
The LP position would receive the reflections. And so when we remove the LP position, we would essentially have those reflections
on top of that position. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. So, BTK, brother, you brought up the question, man. So here's your homework assignment. Now you have to go find out the answer to that and bring it in here next week and let us know.
You got homework, son. Sorry.
Yeah, I love it. This is so much fun. So, yeah, it's really interesting how we're going to do this, because most people think, well, 2%, that's great compared to a normal savings account or something like that. But we're looking at getting a whole lot more by utilizing what we already have. Plus, we took profits on top of that to begin with. So,
right,
it's kind of a win-win-win situation all the way around.
And that's how you can essentially make your investment work for you, right? If you're wanting to have it slowly accumulate a position, then you create your LP at the top, right? And you get more of the tokens, and then you pull it so that when it goes up again, you can then sell at a higher amount. So, yeah.
Now, the only risk, not the only, but the primary risk here is if Elephant money goes flat to zero and empties out the liquidity pool, then we're gone.
Yeah,
right?
Then you don't really have anything, right? You have just a whole bunch of the tokens, which are essentially
nothing to cash in on.
Right.
Okay. So that is something to keep in mind. So this is not something you want to do thinking, oh, as it goes down, I'm going to get rich. Because, yeah, it can go all the way to zero and you end up with nothing. So, back to the rules of solvency, guys.
Exactly.
Okay. And BTK says, pink elephants on parade. And away we go. You're no longer holders. Yeah, but hey, it's okay. You can still do homework. No, not being a holder, buddy. It's okay. I'll put that on my list of things to do. Okay, so now that takes care of one piece, Cyril, but now we still have, of course, profits we took out, and we have our votes. So how are we going to play the next step?
Yeah, so I switch which tab I'm sharing, if you can bring that back up.
Got it.
Let's take a look at how our portfolio did for the week. So, because it had that big pump after last Thursday, and then it had a crash back down from the pump in the last 2 days. So basically, we had last show, it went up, and then it came back down, and then we had this show. However, we began the week at $489.72. We finished the week at a very nice, happy to fun say number, $499.99, for a profit of $10.27, or 2.05%. So that's 2 weeks in a row now that we've had green for our portfolio, which is a good change of pace.
That is a nice change of pace. Now, how does that look overall? Where does that bring us to where we would be if we were just putting the stuff in a pillowcase?
Let's see. Hold on 1 second. So we're gonna have 25 times. What was that? Week 19. So 19. So our portfolio for week 19, if we were just putting money in, should be worth $475.
So we're up almost $25.
Yep. Despite the fact that what have the markets been doing for the last several months?
Bleeding repeatedly.
Going down. We're up. We are up.
Nicely done. And that, my friends, is what strategic investing will teach us. So that's why it's good to tune in here, find out what's going on, and get these strategies going, because we've got a master at our hands here, and he's sharing all this knowledge with us. So I don't care if you're rich. I don't care if you can afford $5 a week, something. Give up a cheeseburger. That's it. We talked about this last week where literally I went to Wendy's. It was $27 for a lunch for two. And that is right there a position that we do every week. One lunch. That's it.
Yep. Exactly.
So, yeah, that's exciting stuff. So I guess we ought to tell them what the voting poll looks like, because, boy, this one's scary.
Is there a tie?
Maybe.
Maybe. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, that's you again. Okay, let me add this one. There we go. There's our voting poll. And yes, of course there was a tie. It wouldn't be any fun if there wasn't a tie. So, yes. I know you love the ties. Okay, so on our blue chips, looks like ETH came out on top with this, with 5 votes. Second was Matic. Okay, so that one's straight up. Now, this is where it's going to get challenging for you, Cyril, because I know we still got those profits sitting aside. I don't know if we're doing anything with that or just holding them. You'll tell us on that. But the tie for this week is mass and paper.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Huh. So we just bought mass last week, right? That was the winner.
Yep.
And it is up a little bit from where we bought. So,
yes.
However, I would be interested in seeing us add some paper to our portfolio, because I do like what they are doing. If you guys are not familiar with what they're doing, it's a project called CryptoLink. I believe their website is cryptolink.tech. And they are building this really cool cross-chain swap. It's very, very fast. Transactions are like between 7 to 13 seconds, I believe. I think the longest is if you're doing Ethereum, but Ethereum's always slow. So
Right.
So I like what they're doing. They're building a swap that will allow you to swap a token that you have on one network, say Arbitrum, directly to another token on a different network. So, so I'd like to see us at that. So I'm going to break the tie and say paper.
Paper it is. Okay. I like it. Yeah. I picked up some of the mass myself, as I shared on the family channel. And so, yeah, now it looks like I'm going to be digging into paper, trying to find out what is behind the system on that. Now, BTK says ETH validator reservations imminent. What do you know about that, Cyril?
Well, I'm not going to go too much into their project. If people want to, because we try not to plug here, right? So if people want to check them out, they can go check them out. I was just kind of explaining why I would be good with adding some paper to our rags to riches.
Absolutely. And yeah, the link is in the chat, guys. If you want to go check out CryptoLink, there's the link right there. I'm going to be diving into a little bit because, yes, I like the idea of validator investments. Might be something really cool, and maybe as a community or something to look at. But yeah, share your information. Let us know what you think, and jump into the voting channel. Cast your vote, but also down below. Remember, there is a what's called discuss the vote. Throw the information you got in there. Give us the high points, whatever. Draw us in so we go and do some research and let us know your feelings, because that's what really makes this.
Yeah.
Okay, so BTK says it's likely. Okay, so now, Cyril, so we've got our $25 this week invested. we built our liquidity pool, but don't we still have some profits left over from elephant money?
Yes, we're currently holding that as BNB.
Okay. Now, in a situation like that, once you do take profits from something and it's in there, what's the best strategy on that? Is that something that you reinvest, or do you just take it out, say, you know what, that's our profits, we leave it as profits and call it good?
So yeah, so what you want to do, we essentially doubled our money through our investment there after paying for the 20% round trip tax. We basically doubled what we had invested. From that, what I like to do, and I believe we touched on this in a previous episode, but what I like to do is you keep the bulk of it as either a stable coin or a blue chip, and then you look to take a small percentage of that and add it to your DCA next week into whatever you're buying that week.
Okay.
So you essentially get a jump start on the next position you're building.
Okay, so you don't take that and run down and order 10 large pizzas or anything crazy like that. Okay.
No.
And I think that's something that's really important to understand is, guys, whatever you put in, like Cyril talked about earlier, is you already spent the money. So don't pull it out and just go waste it on something like pizza or dinner out or something like that until you get so comfortable that all you're doing is taking out profits every day, all the time. It's like, okay, now I can do that. But this is really building that bag for the future. We're starting pretty small, so we got a pretty big bag to build.
Right. Because when you grow, it's true what they say, the first million is the hardest, right? It's always going to be the hardest. But once you have that first one, it takes more time to go from 100,000 to 1 million than it does to go from 1 million to 10 million. It's still
Really?
the same percentage difference, but it takes more time to go from that 10,000 or 100,000 to 1 million. Same percentage difference, but
Right.
yeah.
And that's the same thing I know from content creation from my side is, getting those first few hundred subscribers, man, that was brutal. Then it picked up and it kind of plateaued, and then I just had to keep grinding. And then now here we are at that monetization level. And I want to thank you guys again if you're just tuning in. And yes, now there is the subscription, there is the super chats, there's all these things we can do. And as you guys know, I'm going to put it all back to the community. So thank you guys for doing this. And Cyril, I want to thank you a huge amount, brother, because you have been absolutely crucial on a lot of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Buying paper. I don't think Serenity has 10K. Just get one. Yeah, I don't have 10K yet. No, that's going to take a while longer. But who knows? Maybe as community, we might decide to do something. So keep your eyes out. Okay. Well, I think we've covered everything, guys. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight, and make sure to tune in next Thursday. But definitely cast your vote. Jump to the Down Home Crypto. Find out what's going on. Stay interactive because things are always happening. So subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you all next week.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great rest of your week and enjoy the weekend.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. See you all tomorrow night on Freaky Friday. Take care. And gals.